One of my favorite things to do as an author is to commission artists to create art pieces of my characters for my book. And I've done this a lot of different ways. I've worked with a lot of different artists. If you've been following my journey, you know that I've actually helped webcomic artists to develop their brands and to build out what they're doing and to do their social media really well. So I have a ton of connections, and I've had a lot of people that I have worked with both in the capacity of them doing trades with me. So I'll help them, they help me, and where I am directly paying them without me doing anything on their behalf, that have allowed me to do some really, really cool art pieces that then come out to you on my website, on my social media, and the content that I'm creating so that you can visually see the characters that I have created. And one really fun experience was for Mulan Dragon Shifter. There was an artist that I worked with in the space of webcomics and webcomic creation and marketing and all of those things. And I worked with them a couple of times when they were doing fun sales on their artwork. So this is a younger artist that I have worked with, and they were doing different events where they were raising money for something. And I jumped on those every chance that I got because I loved working with them. And so the process was very simple. I would reach out to them, have a conversation, say, hey, listen, this is the book. This is what it's about. These are the characters. Sound like something you want to do. And because we worked together several times now, it's always been a yes. It's always been lovely. And so I would then pay them to create it. And I would give them a description of the character. So I would pick how many characters they were doing, depending on what I was interested in paying at that time. And for this one, I did my Mulan and then my two love interest boys. And I gave descriptions of each of these characters. And so as I was writing my novel, I would write down exactly what these things were. Here's the hair color, the length, the eye color, what they look like, what they're wearing, this kind of thing. And I gave my artists a lot of freedom. I typically give my artists a lot of freedom unless I need something very, very specific. But usually it's, hey, here's what we've got. Here's what I'm thinking. Go create. Have the freedom to create and do what you want. Now, depending on what type of artist I'm working with, some of my artists come back and they show me in the process, like, here's what I'm doing. Here's how it's going. Do you like this? Do we need changes? Like, what are we doing? Typically, I go with the flow and whatever it is. But sometimes we need some tweaks. With something like this, it was more of a, here you go. Go design and bring it back. And so within a very short amount of time, usually these artists have a pretty good turnaround time. I'll say it this way. The artists who are really good at what they do have a pretty quick turnaround time. If you're waiting a really long period of time for an artist, maybe not the level that I would be working with. I prefer to have people who are on top of what they're doing and very, very good about their communication, very, very good about their art, very good about getting things done in a timely fashion. And timely fashion does not mean like, you have to immediately have this to me. It does mean you're not going to be booked out months in advance because you're actually getting your work done and you are only taking on the work level that is going to allow you to have that consistency without a super long wait time that could lead to issues. So I worked with this artist who then created these gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous images of my characters. Now, depending on what artist you're going to be working with, there are different owners or levels of ownership. So sometimes you will have the rights to use it on your website and your social media. Sometimes you just have blanket rights to then print inside of your magazines and the print things that you're going to do on your table for book signings, and you can put them on bookmarks. And it depends on the level of that contract. So you should have some type of contract with your artist so you know exactly what rights you have, and you should be asking things up front so you know that you are getting what you are paying for and you don't have to ask questions later or push boundaries later on. So I typically work with people that are allowing me to use it on my website, my social media, and in print things so that I can use it for marketing purposes, but not every artist is going to allow that. So ask those questions before you sign on. And I waited, it was probably a couple of weeks because they were doing a big sale. So I told them, take your time. I'm not in any rush. Do the other people first. But they got it back to me very quickly. And they're really cool looking. And so now I get to use them on my website and I get to print these things out and I get to do all sorts of fun things using this art to then visually show my characters to my audience. And I really love working with artists because they all have different takes. They all have unique styles. They use different colors and different tools and different technology and different methods. And so I love that I get this wide variety of artwork from the different artists that I am working with. And I frequently watch for them to run specials. And when I see them running deals, or I like to watch for them to do deals because there's usually a purpose behind it. If they're running some type of special, they're trying to get money for something, to do something, to cover something. And that's the time when I want to really lean in and be like, yep, let's go. Let's get as much of this out as possible so that we can get you taken care of. And I also bring them to my author friends. I try to book them out as much as possible. So I actively watch for those things so that I know, okay, this is the moment. This is when they really need this. Let's bring everybody in. I do recommend them to my author friends whenever my author friends need them, but oftentimes authors tend to jump on things when there are sales, when there are deals, because it can get expensive. It really can. And so if we can bring them to an event where it's going to be a little bit cheaper, they can maybe afford 2 pieces instead of 1, something like that. I like to jump on those because it helps everybody in terms of the financial situation that everybody is in. And so I've gotten to work with some really cool artists. I've had the opportunity to really just like work with them to build out a concept and then just let them go. And it's so much fun. It's so much fun. So finding artists that you like, finding artists whose style you resonate with, and it clearly has the quality that you were looking for is incredibly important. Drop your questions on working with artists down below. Let me know, do you love this artwork? Do you want to see some of my other character artwork that I have commissioned from different artists, or even fan creations that have been sent into me as well? Let me know. A lot of this is over on my website as well, but we're going to be building out more episodes like this to kind of show off how you can work with these people and the process of hiring an artist and how you can communicate with them and all of those things. So drop your questions down below. Follow along for more. Daily videos are here on the channel helping you navigate the world of publishing, from your writing to your publishing to your marketing, to make this your most wonderful author life ever, while you're also still having a life, because we know author life can take over sometimes, but we want to make sure that you are just living the best author life and living out your life dreams. We'll see you in those upcoming episodes.